All right, everybody, this will be a warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, part 139, I believe. 139 or 140. Let me turn this off here because, I don't know, I got a thing from YouTube on one of my videos. There was part of a Zeppelin song, The Rover, playing in the beginning of it. Just a few seconds, and they told me it was taken down because of that. So, but anyway, Happy New Year, and here we are, January 1st, 2021, and hope you didn't go out and destroy your minds with your minds and your livers with a bunch of alcohol last night. You celebrated sober, if you want to call it celebrating. I guess celebrating the end of 2020 or for a hopeful new year. But I don't see any reason for I don't know, maybe COVID will go away or some things will get better or whatever. But as far as the politicians and other people doing crooked, corrupt stuff all year long, I don't think we're going to get away from that. Just for the fact that the the vaccine or vaccines didn't come until after the election. So, when Trump said, "Oh, we're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year or in a year," oh, he's crazy. He don't know. It takes years to develop these things. Blah 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 blah. He's not listening to science. He doesn't care about people. Blah blah blah. Can't open up the country. There's not going to be no vaccine. And lo and behold, right after the election, hey everybody, the vaccine's here. Now they're saying he's not getting it out to people quick enough. So, whatever. Like I said, I think Trump has tried to do a good job. I think he's done a good job in a lot of things. And he was right on the money. The reason he got elected was for saying he's going to put Americans and working people in this country first. And put an end to a lot of the horse shit. And so going with the idea about the pharmaceutical companies, now whether or not they intentionally sat on the fact that they had a vaccine, maybe they had it ready already, weren't going to release it till after the election. Could be. They could have been playing politics with everybody's health. And I would have no doubt that Biden and the people on the left would have been begging them, don't release that till after the election. And probably making deals, since Trump cost them a lot of money by saying, hey, you're not going to sell your drugs over in Europe for X amount of dollars and then charge our people 10 times more. And other things. I'm sure they would have been more than willing if Biden was to make them a deal that, hey, he's going to let them go back to however the hell they were pricing stuff and selling stuff, if they'll just not release that vaccine till after the election. Wouldn't that be some shit? I have no doubt about it. Biden is a career criminal politician, and I don't have any doubt at all. And he probably had his family and his cronies invest in those pharmaceutical companies. Well, let us buy some stock first. Let us get all set up on that too before you release it. So, all that aside, that type of gloomy outlook that they're still just going to keep playing games and not fix anything, which you can see by the stimulus package. So much in there, so much crap that they tie. That's another thing I would get rid of if I got elected is, you know what? Each bill is going to address that particular problem, and you're not going to piggyback all this other crap on it. You know, their excuse is always, well, nothing will ever get done then. It'll take too long to do it step by step. Or no, it won't. You'll be more effective. People will be able to watch results with specific things instead of, just signing these bills or these budgets and then handing them over to the president to sign. He's supposed to read 5,000 some odd pages in a day or whatever. Bull. And I believe in line item veto. You know, if you're not going to hand in specific bills who only address specific things and don't have a bunch of crap piggybacked onto the top of them, then they're going to get line item vetoed. So, all that stuff aside, sitting here thinking about the new year and having a conversation with my son last night about the new year, and I went over my idea with him about, instead of all this welfare and stuff, you know, just when a kid turns 18, hey, you graduate high school, here's 10 grand. When you turn 21 and 24, here's the other 40 grand, or you can do 25, whatever, how much cheaper it would be. And then everybody starts out on a level playing field, don't they? Right? Because you're not going to give, you know, Bill Gates' kid the 50 grand when he turns 18 or whatever. You're not going to give it to rich kids. So everyone gets to start out on a level playing field, or a leveler, a more level playing field. Same rules, everybody. No more of this society held me down, white privilege, all this other crap. Whether you're from the hood or from the suburbs, here's your 50 grand. Go start your life, do something with your life. And if you muck it up, don't call us. Don't blame anybody else. Look at yourself. Look at the choices you made. Did you make smart choices? Or did you go to Vegas and blow it? Or did you, go party all the time? Whatever. Don't call us. Because and that's the thing, and even if you started this program, you got to do things like they're ironclad. There ain't no touching them, tweaking them. You figure it all out beforehand. Anything you want to tweak, you talk about everything beforehand. You put it in, and then hands off, nobody touches it. Because that's what they do. Every program, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, whatever it is, and politicians all the time. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to add to this, we're going to take this away, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And that's the basis for, for them trying to get you. They're either going to make you in fear, you're going to lose something, or this or that. Because when you think about it, with all that stuff, all these programs that they use as, parts of their campaign, and they're either protecting or they're going to get rid of or this or that or everything, just to keep you involved and interested in them. You think about it, if we could put as much of the government function in programs and shit, like on just an automatic thing, here it is. This is just the way it is. This is going to happen here. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. You're not going to get that. You're going to get this. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You could pretty much say, what the hell do we need all these politicians for? Right? Starting new programs, ending other programs, doing this. We don't need all that. We can get rid of all their asses. Honest to God. And if you think about it, we're going to have to do something, because the way the Constitution's written and how many members of Congress there are and everything has to do with the population and stuff. And, just you're going to have to do something, because you can't just keep building a bigger Capitol building to house all these people in. And, you got so many of them, and it's really a loss of control by the people of this nation when you got that many and you got such a big government. That's why I say we need to lessen the big government, lessen federal taxes, have your state taxes be your primary, tax. And because you're going to watch that closer. It's going to be easier to hold the governor and your state assembly and your city councils and all that accountable. They're right there. They're not off in Washington, D.C. hiding in their office. They're going to have to face you and explain and whatever they use the money for. It's going to it'll be easier to catch corruption that way. And the crooked ones. It's a lot easier. So, I was thinking about that plan anyway, and I was telling my son about it. And I was thinking, because I put in the comments on all these things about, invest in. First it was just invest in America, not marijuana. Now I've been putting invest in America and yourselves and not marijuana, with reference to all the advertising for invest in marijuana and all the legalization of it and all that, and comparing marijuana to cotton. And the people who sell it are the slave owners, and the people who waste their money on it are the slaves. Because you think about it, it's a crop, and the people in control of it are getting rich, and while you're not harvesting it for them and everything so they can get rich, you're paying them for it. You're revolving your life around it, just like a slave had to revolve their lives around the cotton industry. So you're out there buying marijuana, spending your hard-earned cash, and in many cases, like I say, they can legalize everything under the sun. People still gonna have to pay for it. And to do so, they are going to commit crimes. So in that respect, if they do really start, they're out there committing crimes or committing prostitution or what have you, anything like that, so they can keep their drug habit going, then they really are the slaves, aren't they? So anyway, thinking about, that comment I always put and this plan, that if you graduate high school, here you go. Here's your, we'll say it this way, $20,000. That gets you a halfway decent car. You can get back and forth to work or to school, whatever. Gives you some money to put into an investment account. And a little bit of cash flow to get you going. And then when you're 21 or 24 or something like that, here you go, here's the other 30 grand. Or you do it 25. See, the thing is, an 18-year-old is going to be less likely to be more responsible with 25 grand. Maybe you could have a stipulation in there, like I say, you got to hammer all the details out in advance, keep people from trying to change them. Maybe you got to take a certain amount of that. Let's say we do it 25. Certain amount of that 25 grand, say you take 5 grand of it, has to go into a locked account for college money or something. Or a medical account or something like that. And then when you get the second 25 grand, maybe you do a similar thing. $5,000 of it's got to go into a locked medical account, medical savings account. You know, and then if you're not going to college or whatever, that other $5,000 that's in that college account, maybe we put that in a retirement or a medical savings account, so it can't be blown. You know, and when you have these medical accounts, whether you know, when you do it this way, like I said in one of my videos, you know, you set it up so that when somebody's paid, automatically, just like taxes are taken out, automatically a certain percentage goes into their medical account. They get to pick the bank and that handles the account, etc. Or maybe these companies will, you know, be in offshoots of the insurance companies or whatever it is. But I think it should be an account that pays, you know, a minimum interest rate on it if it's going through the banks, and that they can't you know, do unscrupulous things with all his money and leave people high and dry. You know, it's, you know, or maybe it shouldn't have interest paid on it. That way they can't use that money for loans or anything like that anyhow. But anyway, you get your medical savings account debit card. You got to go to the doctor. You go to your doctor. They figure out the bill. All right, you got your insurance or whatever. It's going to pay, you know, your 80% or what have you. You know, and you figure out some method of figuring out what percentage of the bill is going to come out of your medical savings account. You know, suppose it's just a visit to your regular doctor or something like that, and, you know, it's a $60 bill or something. Okay, he swipes the card, and your account's debit, and your medical savings account's debited $60. So there's no taking it and spending it on other things or whatever. You know, it can only be spent at a pharmacy or at your doctor, what have you. You'd have that medical savings account debit card. And automatically every week, you know, part of your paycheck, you know, 2%, 5%, maybe we make it a minimum 2%, and an elective up to 10% of your paycheck, you know, has to go in that account. Same thing with, you know, for younger, you know, kids working when they're 16 or whatever, they'll pay in that account. They'll also pay into a college and a retirement fund. You'll pay into a retirement. You get to pick the accounts and the banks to handle it and everything, but just automatically it's going into some kind of account that'll either be totally locked until you're retired or semi-locked, you know, something. And like I said, you'll also have an emergency fund, that money that you can access. But automatically, a certain percentage of what you work for is going to go into your own personal accounts instead of into the government coffers, where you will never see it again. People who work could pretty much take care of themselves if the government would stay out of our pockets, and if they were taught more in school to be more financially responsible and not blow every dollar they make on bullshit. So anyway, thinking about this program here, instead of all this $1 trillion a year in welfare and social programs, which I'm pretty sure it's more than $1 trillion. You hand out the money in the beginning, 50 grand, and that's it. And that, I think I said I worked it out. It was like $400 million or something a year. Or I'm sorry, 400 billion. Was it 400 billion? Whatever. 400 billion a year or whatever. Either way, what a bargain. What a bargain it will be for you, America. Get rid of all the other crap. And you make it an ironclad deal. One of your parents better be a naturalized citizen, or a citizen born here, and your ass better be born here. Sorry, if you're 15 or 16 and you come to this country, or your parents come to this country when you're 15 or 16, I'm sorry, at 18 you don't get the 50 grand. Wouldn't be fair. You'd have people coming to this country from all over the place just to try and collect that money when their kid turns 18. Or graduates high school, I mean. It wouldn't be fair to all the people who pay taxes in this country to then hand out to people who show up, you know, a year, 2 years before, you know, they can get the handout. Or 6 months, they'd probably show up. They wait till their kid's 17 and a half, then come to America. Hey, where's our 50 grand? That would not be fair. So sorry, Charlie. It'll be ironclad. That's what I say. You got to hammer all this crap out beforehand. Every detail of it. Is this going to work? This going to work? Okay. Boom. There it is. Then what do you need the politicians for anymore? What do you need them for? There's not going to be no, you're not changing this. This is the way it is. Just like we got the First Amendment and everything, you know, that's the way it is. You ain't changing shit, Jack. Oh, we got the right to amend. Some things, yeah, but there's some things that ought to be, no, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way it's going to be. This is what the tax rate's going to be. This is the only benefits you're going to get paid, and that's it. So plan your life. There you go. Corporations can plan. You can plan. No one's going to change anything. Pull the rug out from underneath your feet, or make it easier for this group or that group or this corporation, or that we're not subsidizing. We're not doing this. This is the playing field. These are the rules. There you go. And all this arguing and hubbub and all the political crap and everything, they can take all of that and stick it up their ass and get out of our lives, and we can have some peace and quiet and just go about our lives. Everything will be the way it's supposed to be, and that's it. Leave it alone. Don't have to listen to somebody, well, we really need to do this, and we really need to do that. What? Get the hell out of here. No, we don't. Everything's fine. You go to work, you make your money, you do what you want, you plan your life, and you're going to be fine. You don't need some jack off telling you he's going to be your savior over there in Washington, D.C. He's going to start some program or some shit. I know people, well, you're talking about starting a program. That's because we're at the point we're at now. And instead of endless, countless more programs and total socialism and all that kind of crap, here you go. Boom. This is it. This is all you're going to get. Something to start your life out with. You screw it up after that, don't come crying to us. Do not come crying to us. We can get rid of all the social justice warriors who talk about this ain't fair for this person, this ain't fair for that, this and that, blah, blah, blah. All that crap. All the crybabies who cry for criminals in prison and shit like that. Sorry, Jack. You had the same chance as everybody else. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, yes, you did. You get with the program. You live your life right. Like I said, we're going to make doing the right thing and living a good life in America very attractive. We're going to make doing the wrong thing and being a screw up and a thug and everything else under the sun that's bad be very unattractive. So my plan, I keep trying to start to get it out and then I don't get it out, but I say invest in America and yourselves and everything. So this plan will be called the Individual American Annuities Plan. Something catchy like that. Because I know they like that kind of stuff in D.C. and in the news media. So I'll have some catchy name like it's the American Annuities Plan. They don't like Make America Great Again. They don't like Keep America Great. So anyway, talking to my son last night and everything, you know, I told him looking at the world and stuff, and the way it's going, you know, whether it can get worse or whatever. Start telling them, you know, every religion, every mythology, whether it's the Kali Yuga, the Hindu, or Ragnarok, Norse and stuff, and Christianity, Islamic traditions, when it, you know, talk about the cycles and the ages of life and the earth and everything. Aztecs and Mayans, you know, the wheel. That they all say humanity, the earth gets so corrupt to a certain point, then a cataclysm happens, wipes most of us out, and then it all starts over again. And I told him, I said, that'll probably keep happening if it's meant to continue happening that way. Until we get it right and we come to the realization of Baha'u'llah and his teachings of the unity of humanity, and then a Bible verse in Isaiah, I believe, you can look at, and men will beat their weapons of war into plowshares, and man will learn war no more. So maybe you should think about that Bible verse there, starting off your new year, and the unity of humanity, and what direction the world is going, and what we can all do to make it better. So, you know, and just thinking about this morning, plan to get him a card here later, send it to him, telling him these things, but I'm going to put it here on the record now, because you never know what'll happen between now and the next moment. But I told him before I met his mother and all that, the thought of having kids, I just wasn't down with it, because I looked at the world and I was like, why would I want to bring a kid in this world? The possibilities of the absolute misery, and, you know, or getting drafted or what have you, just, you know, the threat of nuclear war hanging over our heads, and all kind of, you know, what could happen, all that type of stuff. But he was like, gee, thanks, Dad. And I was like, you know what I mean, I'm not saying I'm not grateful for you. And he's like, yeah, I know, I'm just kidding. But I told him, I said, honestly, before I met his mother and everything, and it was before I became Christian and stuff, I couldn't see any point bringing a kid in this world. And honestly, you know, even if you're a level-headed Christian, you get away from all the gobbledygook of the preachers and stuff, you got to ask yourself, do you really want to bring a kid in this world? Now, I'm not in favor of abortion and all that, so I'm not talking about that, you know, to be afraid to, you know, bring a kid that way and then have an abortion. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just don't even get somebody pregnant. So, but anyway, I want to make the statement now. I'm glad I did. I think about all the mornings I got up and found him bouncing up and down in his crib, wide awake, looking for somebody to come and get him. All times I pushed him on the swing. All times he'd hide in the house, and we'd be frantic looking for him, and open the cabinet and find him sitting in a big, 5-quart, pot, you cook spaghetti in or whatever, 6-quart, what are those things? But anyway, and he'd be laughing his ass off. And at times he'd be running through the house, waving his hands and screaming and doing goofy stuff, and I'd be like, what's the matter with this kid? And then I finally caught on. He was reenacting. This is when he was real ill. That's why I say, what's wrong? Because he couldn't talk then. He was reenacting the Home Alone kid from the Home Alone movies. I finally caught on to that. Because I was seriously thinking about taking him to the doctor. It's like, what's wrong with this kid? But then I realized, he's reenacting that kid from the movies. And he was so little, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. He can do that. So, I'm watching him ride his bike for the first time with training wheels and all the stuff. If you're a parent, all the stuff you look back on, or you should look back on anyway, and think about your kid fondly. So, for all those reasons, and because he's been a good kid and I'm proud of him, he's smart, what he's been doing in school and what he's trying to do even more in school and then as an entrepreneur, I'm very proud of him. And, I'm glad I finally did come to the conclusion that it'd be all right. I had some hope, and it'd be all right to have a kid. And I'm also thankful because if he hadn't come along, I don't think anyway, God knows best, but I don't think I would have been questioning the world as much as I did and asking God, who's telling the truth and what do I tell my son? And I'm forever thankful to my Maker for putting me on that spiritual journey so I can know what to tell my son. And I feel very blessed to have that have happened in my life, though at times it ain't been easy. But anyway, be thankful for the truth. Be thankful for your children. Wish all the best out there and a happy new year. God bless you, and may it be a good year for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.